Imagine growing up in a world where you are overlooked. What if you do not see yourself anywhere? What if you don't feel any connection? Until society represents everyone, the questions will always be, where do I belong? Do I belong?
Be it music, movies, or television, media has long since been the source of entertainment consumption for many. More than that, however, it also serves as a platform to gain information, be it about marginalized communities, minorities, or social situations. Media representation has varied throughout the years, and autism is no stranger to being seen on screen. Stereotypical portrayals in the mainstream media can have damaging consequences on not only the minority it targets, but the rest of its consumers as well. This brings us to the focus of this video, autism in media, the importance of representation, why it's needed, and how it can be done authentically. Let's begin with the underrepresentation of autism. 20% of the people who responded to my survey hadn't seen any media representing autistic people. And in 2021, GLAAD reported that there were only 2.8% of characters in scripted series with a disability, and even fewer with autism. For the past 12 years, the percentage of these characters has continued to be less than that of its actual population, and much of the autistic characters we do see are not exactly the best portrayals. 50% respondents believed that the representation of autism in the media was stereotypical. So while the representation of different communities is important, it is of no use if not done correctly. Now, autism representation in the media can be dated all the way back to the 1970s with the film Silence. However, what truly skyrocketed public awareness about it was Rain Man, a film that brought autism from what was a distant and abstract concept to one that was more understood and real, particularly in the public. The overarching theme of this film dealt with two separated brothers, Charlie and Raymond, an autistic savant, who went on a journey that ended up bringing them closer. While credit is due to the movie for giving visibility to the autistic community, one must consider at what cost. The movie influenced how people in the industry perceived autistic individuals, that is, as people with special abilities.
Dibs, Sally. 4610192.
How did you know my phone number?
How'd you know that?
You said read the telephone book last night. Dibs, Sally. 4610192.
He remembers things, little things sometimes.
Very clever boy.
Now, the notion that all autistic people have such high intellectual abilities is not true, as only 1 in 10 people with autism actually have savant skills. And thus, Rain Man built a stereotype that persists to this day and can be seen in autistic characters like Sean Murphy in The Good Doctor, Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory, and Jake from Touch. This highlights the problem at hand. If we continue to have such stereotypical portrayals of our marginalized communities, then these identities can establish themselves in the audience's mind, thus possibly altering their behavior and actions. But many people argue that representation does not matter and that our perceptions and beliefs are not dependent on what we view. However, in today's digital age, where all sorts of media are available to the public, one must consider its possible effects, especially at the rate it's being consumed. In fact, in 2020 alone, the average daily consumption of digital media was about 6 hours and 59 minutes. This exposure to media means that we're constantly consuming new content and information, and ultimately, this shapes our perception and understanding of others and ourselves. 45% of my survey's respondents seem to agree with the sentiment, where they said that their views on autism were shaped by what they saw in the media. So, what's the solution? Well, to begin with, filmmakers and directors should avoid basing their autistic characters on whatever information they find online. Instead, they should include autistic people in the conversation and learn from them. The implementation of these solutions mainly lies in the hands of those who are in positions of authority within the media industry. It is up to them to ensure that there is space for autistic writers, producers, and actors on the team. Not only this, but filmmakers should be willing to change a story if the community it targets believes to not be an accurate portrayal. But how can we, students, at a more ground level address this problem? Well, we can play our part by spreading autism awareness and sharing information that comes from autistic individuals themselves. This can be done through social media campaigns and public events at universities. The idea of representation does not simply end by having characters of marginalized communities on screen. The difference comes in their fair and authentic portrayal. Autistic people make up a large portion of our community, and as such, they deserve to have their stories be properly depicted. For this to happen, the media industry must bring the inclusion of autistic people to the table. In the end, we need to remember that the experts on autism will be autistic people themselves. And so, when creating any media that represents them, we must not allow their voices to go silent. It is when we shift away from such stereotypical portrayals that we can change our perception of others. And once we can understand those who are different from us, we build a strong pathway of communication. One that not only helps our marginalized communities, but ourselves too.